Hello, welcome to my channel. We're just going to get another general message from Spirit, see what comes out today. Thank you everyone who subscribed to the channel. Welcome to everybody who is new. If the video resonates with you, I'd love if you would subscribe as well. Please remember these are collective. You can change the gender roles as you need to and only take what resonates for you and your story. So I pulled some cards here just to get the overall energy. And we got engagement ring, teddy bear, and Cupid's arrow. So very loving, sweet, beautiful energy that's starting out the reading here. So let's dig in and see what else we can figure out. Whose energy this is. Eight of Wands. Four of Pentacles and the Lovers. I heard the one you've been waiting for. So Eight of Wands, Four of Pentacles, and the Lovers, right? This is an energy of somebody that you have been waiting on their communication to tell you how they feel. They're finally doing that here. They're coming through with this communication, with this engagement ring energy, with Cupid's arrow, that's that forward moving, right? Like the arrow has been shot through this person's heart, and they're coming to get you. Eight of Swords in the reverse, 88. I feel like this person has been in an energy of being super nervous. Yeah. The King of Cups. See how he's like taking that drink here? And the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Swords upright is that like being in your head, being super nervous. But it's in the, it's reversed here. So they're no longer in an energy of being super nervous. I feel like that drink here is like a shot of courage. This person has like worked themselves up to the point where they're going to come forward in this Eight of Wands energy to tell you how they feel. Can I get some more in the King of Cups? Five of Cups. What's this? Nine of Pentacles. Two of Swords. Nine of Wands, 99. Four of Swords. Ace of Swords. Page of Pentacles. I feel like with the Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands, this person had a really hard time getting out of their head because they weren't feeling worthy enough. I feel like this person had some self-esteem issues. I feel like they with the Four of Swords here, see how the coffin, he's putting that nail into the coffin. I feel like the coffin is a past relationship that this person is finally like closing out for good. Sealing it shut, no longer allowing it to interfere with their happiness here in the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like this person has done a lot of work here with the Ace of Swords. I feel like they really had to dissect where this energy was coming from, right? So in this Five of Cups, the skull is a maze, right? I feel like that's the energy of what this past relationship did to this person, right? So it did like a really terrible number on this person's self-confidence. I don't feel like they felt that they were worthy of someone like you. So for a long time, I feel like that was holding them back here. So, they had to do a lot of that inner healing to build up their self-love, to understand where that energy was coming from. Like, okay, this is just a toxic relationship. Like, this is the effect that it had on me. I heard PTSD. So, maybe this person even went to therapy to get some outside help because maybe they felt like they couldn't do it on their own, which is totally fine, right? When you can't, then ask for help. And I feel like that's what this person did. I feel like they had some deep-rooted issues here, and it might have stemmed before this relationship as well. I heard trauma bonding. So, maybe both of these people, this ex of theirs and this person that wants to come towards you, had some things that happened to them as a child, and, it carried over into their relationship, and then that just added to some more trauma that they had to overcome, right? But I feel like with the putting a nail into the coffin, I feel like this person did it the right way. I feel like I really feel like they went to therapy because it does, keep seeing somebody walking into an office door, like sitting down in a chair. So I feel like they they took that extra step when they felt that they couldn't maneuver through this healing. Then they reached out to someone who could help them, right? I feel like they've done that here with the Two of Swords. I feel like they were finally able to close out that chapter of their life. I feel like they're feeling rejuvenated. See how the rays are kind of shining down, right? And that's the Ace of Swords, so it's like the sword of truth, right? I feel like they feel free of needing to hold on to that trauma anymore, right? Like working through that energy, it's like a releasing of the baggage. They're seeing it from a new perspective, right? Because they're healed, they're in a healed energy instead of like a grappling energy where they're trying to figure it out. They no longer are trying to figure out how to maneuver through this trauma because they got help to do that, and now they're feeling free of that baggage because they've learned how to maneuver through it. Right? They've done that healing. They can identify what they need to do to move forward instead of feeling stuck on how can I even heal myself to be ready to love again. I feel like this person has done a lot of work here. With the Page of Pentacles, I feel like that's them finally being ready to come forward. Like I said, I feel like they're in this energy here with the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Swords in the reverse. I don't feel like they're in their head about it anymore because they sought the help that they needed. They did that healing work, and they're feeling like they are free of that baggage from the past. They've healed those wounds from their childhood and this relationship, and they're ready to move forward with you. So let me get some more. Six of Cups, Seven of Swords, King of Pentacles, so the Six of Cups, that's in the past, right? And then the Seven of Swords, see how he's like sitting in the coffin and the lid is open, right? And in the King of Pentacles, he's holding that chest, but it's closed. I feel like that's the representation of like this is their trauma, right? They were sitting in the trauma. They hadn't been able to maneuver through it, so they're just like sitting in that energy, upset, mad, whatever, trying to figure it out by themselves. But they sought out the help that they needed, and now they're able to close this chapter. They're able to close this box of energy here, and like put it away because they've done the work. And in this King of Pentacles energy, I feel like they're just feeling so. It's like brand new. You know what I mean? It's like a night and day kind of energy. Um, Healing through trauma, you're going to have those triggers every now and then, but the intensity of them start to diminish once you start doing your healing, right? And I feel like this person had a lot of triggers, and going to get help the way that they did, I feel like they have this. It's like a toolbox, right? This is like their toolbox. It's also the closed chapter, but it's also feeling like a toolbox. Like they have the means to work through a trigger instead of letting it take them back in time, right? And start to feel like you're back in that situation in that moment. It's kind of like I heard time travel. Yeah, it's the energy of like you've done the healing work, but your trigger comes up, and it's almost like you're instantly transported to that moment in time, and it feels as if you're standing in that moment back in the time, right? But I feel like in this person's hand, in this scenario, this person has that toolbox. And so now they're able to maneuver through triggers a lot easier. I heard meditation, I heard breath work. So whatever it was that they learned from this therapist, I feel like they carry it with them at all times, right? Because they know that healing is not cut and dry. It's can be a roller coaster, and it's gradual, right? So they're ready with their toolbox to make sure that they have a handle on their triggers, and that's why they're, again, feeling so rejuvenated and so ready to come forward because they didn't have this toolbox before. I feel like I feel like in the start of this, when they were trying to get over this past relationship or this past trauma, I feel like they were really just trying to do it on their own, and it was just too overwhelming. So it got to the point where they had to reach out if they wanted to make some big changes, right? And so that's what I feel like they did. And now that they've done that, they feel like a brand new person, right? They feel like I heard I got my life back. Yeah, you know what I mean? This person isn't affected by their trauma the way that it used to affect them. So they're feeling very free. This energy does feel very free. And like I said, because they feel so free, because they have this toolbox of ways to help them continue on their healing, and so they won't fall back into past habits or, be affected in the way that they used to be affected by their trauma, then it's like they're running out the door because they want to start this new chapter with you. So that's what they're trying to do. Anything else on this person? Need some more on the King of Pentacles. Three of Swords. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, Three of Swords and Eight of Pentacles, right? The Three of Swords is that heartbreak energy. The Eight of Pentacles is that investment, right? The seeing your hard work pay off, right? And this is 100% what this is. This person is seeing their hard work pay off. They realized that they could not do it on their own, so they sought out help to get through it, right? They've been doing that healing work. They've been working with this therapist, and now they have this toolbox with them at all times, and they're feeling rejuvenated. And they got to that place by putting all of this time and effort into their healing, because they wouldn't be able to come towards you in the energy that they were in previously, because they were still too engulfed in that trauma, right? It hadn't closed out properly. If they would have come forward to you in that energy, it would have just pushed this relationship out further. You know what I mean? So this person withdrew. I feel like they tried to turn into themselves and do it themselves. They realized that it was just too big and too overwhelming. So they reached out to a therapist. I feel like like I said, they've got their toolbox. They've learned how to maneuver this, and now they're feeling free and ready to come towards you. So let's get you some oracles. Sunglasses. Watching, looking, perception, stalking. I feel like in this time of separation, this person has kept their eyes on you the entire time. I don't feel like there was a day that went by where they either didn't look at a picture of you, or like if you have social media, scrolled your social media, something like that. Or if you're in the same town and maybe they see you out and about, like that kind of stuff would just make their day. Love call. Expressing love, messages of love, thinking of you, informing you. 100%. This person is so fired up. They're so proud of themselves. They've done so much hard work here. And, like I said, they're feeling a lot freer, and they're ready to come and talk to you. Ooh, that was too many. Separation, sadness, bitterness, missing you, thinking about you, uncertain future. Yeah, like I said, I mean, you guys have been in this separation, but it was for a reason, right? This person needed to do the healing in the proper way, and they have here. They have really invested their time and energy into making sure that they came forward in the energy that was ready to be in a relationship with you. Talking, interested in awaiting messages, text, calls, email, talking more. Yeah, like I said, this person is in the energy of being on their way to you. They're rejuvenated. They're feeling confident that they have done the healing in the proper way. They feel confident that if there's something that comes up that is like a trigger, then they can maneuver through that without it affecting your guys' relationship moving forward. Let me get one more. Clock. Needing time, cycles, and takes time. Time to heal, progressing. 100%. Like I said, this person, they've put in the time. This has been a separation for, it's going to be different for everyone. It could be, months to years, right? But it was for a reason. This person needed the time to do the healing in the proper way, and they have done that now, and that's why they're in this energy of engagement ring, Cupid's arrow, teddy bear, love call, talking, right? Like all of this is them coming towards you to tell you that they're finally ready. They've done it in the proper way, and nothing's going to stop them from being with you at this point. So I hope that resonated for you. I hope that brought you some clarity. Please like, subscribe, or comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.